we're back. So, Tamika, before we took the break, talking about the counseling and the HUD counselors and all that, talk to us about some of the barriers that we're facing when we are doing this type of program.
Well, one of the barriers we find across the country is that when agents are going in and introducing the program to some of the employers or the HR person says, "Oh, we already have Relo." Oh. And this is not Relo.
Right. Did you see my face? I'm like, oh, okay.
And so you know what Relo is, right?
Absolutely. Relocation department.
Right.
People
so what do they
in.
do?
Right. They're helping assist people who are moving in and out of their company or to different parts of the locations that they might have within the company.
Right. And so what percentage of a company do you think Relo handles?
Maybe 1.
Okay.
2.
So we are the opposite. So we handle the other 99% of an employer's workforce. So Relo helps folks come in at maybe 1% a year, and we want to take care of the other 99% of the employees who are already there.
Okay.
So that's the biggest hurdle of explaining to HR and what is this all about? And so that's why we go into a spiel on it's a benefit program, because like other benefits like health, insurance, we fall right in that line of we're providing a housing benefit for employees. So that's part of some of the pushback that we get.
And I can see how they could get that confused because they don't know what they don't know.
Yeah. Another hurdle or barrier that we come across is the employer may think that it's going to cost them a lot of money to implement a program of such. And that's also not accurate. We work with employers who have zero budget to whatever amount they, can come up with, because we're on site and want to work with long-term partnerships. So you may not have anything right now to contribute, but that's where we come in. So we find other partners, and we find down payment assistance programs that a community may have. So let's say if we took this location right where we are, one thing we go and do is we find out from the city if the city has any down payment assistance programs, and then we introduce those programs to the employer and the employees, and that's how we access them. Yeah. So that's another. You want more?
I do. I need one more.
one more
barrier.
Let's see. We get HR who may say they don't have enough people to help put the program together.
That's what I think would be the biggest thing, staffing.
Yeah, and it's not. I just need one person who can send out a notification of telling folks when to meet us. Everything else we do. So we have a flyer already produced. We we bring in the lunch. We order a lunch from a local company or whatever. We coordinate all the professionals who are to be on site. So all we need the employer to do is provide us a space and send out the notifications to employees. We show up and do the rest.
Could we just have everyone's email address, and then we could just email everyone?
No.
That would be fantastic.
That would be ideal.
Yeah, that would be great.
But sometimes they don't allow us to have that.
I don't know why. That's
I
weird.
don't know either.
Weird. Okay.
Maybe something like privacy or something having to go on.
Bizarro. So with what, because I know you have been doing this. This is a class that you teach. It's very popular.
It's my business model that I actually have on the ground. So I have teams outside of the metro who implement this across the country with other employers.
And you've been doing it at the National Association of Realtors.
I trained for them.
And then also on the local level with Kansas and Missouri, because I've been to your class before. It's a great informational class. So tell us, who are you working with?
See, now you want to get all in my contact list.
Well, not contacts, but just who are you? Tell us a success story.
Some of my employers include SBC and AT&T.
Okay.
And so I work with them on a monthly basis and provide all kinds of workshops to the employees there.
Okay.
So they're local, but they're also national.
Yes, they are.
So I can also put teams in other cities as well.
Okay.
With that one. I work with the city of Kansas City, Missouri, and I like them because they have different departments. So our workshops vary based on the department. Okay. So each manager may have a different need or a different setup for the location. Yeah. So think of the water department.
Right, city's
Those
huge.
folks go in early in the morning and they leave
Like two. I mean,
well, they just have to jump in, get cards and things like that. So with a
Right.
group like that, you don't do a lunch and learn. Maybe you do coffee and donuts and provide them paperwork and they go out the door.
Right.
So we're able to customize workshops based on departments as well.
Gotcha.
And that makes it a lot more fun.
That would
So
make it fun.
like them, and we've got quite a few success stories out of the city of Kansas City, Missouri, just because it's such a large employer. So we get to work with the health department out of the city. And so
That's a huge department in
that
of
one
itself.
is that one is fun because
yeah.
we get a variety of people. We get
I bet
nurses.
you do.
We get
Yes.
engineers who come into that location
Mm-hmm.
because it's also a nice building, cool building, and it doesn't have all the metal detectors as the city hall does. So people can get in and get out during
Yeah.
their lunch period.
Right.
And so it was very interesting for me. The last class I did over there, I just do my thing. So I get in and talk about the different opportunities going on and that kind of thing, and I'm all excited. And I see a lady, and I'm like, she looks familiar. Come to find out, it was a client that I had from 10 years ago.
What?
I listed, I helped them buy this house, a house 10 years ago. They got transferred, moved out of the city,
Okay.
and came back. And she came to one of the workshops, and she says, "We've been renting." And I'm like, "Oh, it's good to see you." She's like, "Yeah, we have kids now." I'm like, "You didn't have kids before," or whatever. And so, because of that relationship from 10 years ago,
Right.
I was able to help her and her husband find a home
Very
again.
Good. Very good.
Yeah, and they had been renting for several years, and it wasn't because they couldn't buy. It was just finding time and the right person,
Sure.
of course, to help them in that process.
It's always about the timing.
It's always about the timing.
You know, we always know what we need to do, but it's always at the right time.
Now, if I could tell that employer something
Right.
right then was you have here the employer is sitting there with two great employees or one who works there and another employee from somewhere else, and they were renting. So
Isn't that a signal right there?
it's like
we
they
can help
could
you.
they
Right.
could purchase, they
Right.
just didn't. So now they are tied to the city even more. They're now adding to a tax base that they weren't before, and I think chances are they're going to be around a little longer.
Yeah, because they have a home
Yeah,
now.
they have
Right.
their home,
Right.
and their children are in the school district that they wanted, and that was a success story for us.
Thanks for sharing with our audience about that success story, Tamika.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Is that good? Too obvious?
Just
Keep going?
Could you just keep going?
Okay.
people have places to be.
And back with Bossy Brian. And so one thing I wanted to reiterate with our show this week, because we haven't been doing that, is just reminding our audience and our viewers about our archives that we have, because we have all of our shows that we've been doing and entertaining our audience for so many months and so many weeks. And I know they really look forward to us every single week. And it's so great to be able to go back from show one. Do you remember show one? Do you remember our first show?
Of course I do.
I know, but we've grown so much since then.
No,
It's been
no,
fun.
we
I've
haven't.
erased it from my memory.
Oh, Mary! I liked our show one. But I want our audience to make sure to know that they can go back and listen to. So, because especially this show, we've had a lot of good nuggets of info, and it's nice to be able to go back and listen, and it's archivable. And then you can find us on our Facebook page on Tamika Bryant and Christy Porter.
With Real Estate Matters.
With Real Estate Matters, right? You can just type in our names, or
They can find us.
they can find us. There's only one of us, right? And then also find us on our. I think people want to know how to email you directly and email me directly. I don't know if that's really information that we've ever given out. So, what about your email, Tamika, if somebody wants to reach you directly?
Well, I have about 12 of them. So.
I know you do.
But
Quickly,
the easiest
pick your
one
top
is,
favorite.
Tamika NY. That's TAMEKA NY at gmail.com. That's the easiest one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And mine is Christy at ChristyPorter.com. So we can have because I love to hear from our viewers and our audience. It's great to know that people are
Sure.
listening and getting the feedback. So keep the comments coming.
Absolutely.
Yes, that'd be great. And I'm still serious about our contest for a new intro. I
Okay.
think we should start testing out like different intros every week.
Okay.
And like having a contest of favorite intro.
How
and
about
then
if we put a competition together also for let's change the name of the show.
Ooh, change the name of the show?
and mess up everything.
That's a great
Throw
idea.
it in the air
Swell
and
idea,
just
Tamika. Yeah.
start over and mess it all up. All the marketing things you ever learned about, just start and mess it up. Let's do
How
it.
much we've been doing it. You've been watching Real Estate Matters with Tamika Bryan and Christy Porter on TV25.10. We'll see you next week.